Last Man Standing. This is a new Shout Factory release that came out a couple weeks back now. Well, I guess a week ago, but um I'll be honest, this is going to be a very negative review. I'm not usually negative on new physical media releases, but let me explain. This is a $30 release that has no slipcover, has zero special features other than one theatrical trailer, and it's just one disc, which is fine, but again, no special features, nothing. Um, and it was $30 for that. This movie also wasn't very good, so I'm kind of upset about it. But this is the thing. I like Shout Factory, right? I actually would say I love them. They do great work with a lot of their catalog titles. I just unboxed JFK like recently, and it looks like a beautiful box set. I haven't popped it in. I'm gonna, start watching it. I got multiple Scream Factory titles that I love and think look great. But I got this. I pre-ordered this because I love Bruce Willis, and this is a movie I've never seen from him. And I thought about canceling, and then something got messed up with my order, and I wasn't able to cancel. But I was like, okay, well, at least I'm getting it. I was excited about it. Get it in the mail. And, I don't mind that the movie's not great, because this is a blind buy. That's just the risk that you take. And I will still keep this Blu-ray, because, I'll be honest, I enjoyed aspects of this movie. So let's talk about this movie before we get into what's wrong with this release. Walter Hill directed this movie, and Walter Hill, if you don't know, he directed 48 Hours and The Warriors, Come Out to Play, that stuff. He's a really good director in terms of certain vibes. This is like a crime movie that he doesn't really perfectly pull off directing, but he does enough in the directing style to this movie that he's able to actually add something to it. There's some moments of good cinematography, but for the most part, this was just a generic crime movie or like gangs going at each other type movie with Bruce Willis. It didn't really have too much to say really unique or anything. So I enjoyed it fine. Like, it was a decent watch, but it's not like a movie I'm ever gonna go back to, because I could just get better movies like this. And Bruce Willis, well, it's weird. I had flashbacks to Bruce Willis's like newer movies watching this movie, right? Even though this movie came out in, let me see here, 96. And his performance felt like one of his newer movies. It was just very odd. Not as bad as some of those, but it just felt similar enough that I was like, whoa, Bruce, you're back to not trying again. So, he wasn't horrible. He was just fine, but he definitely felt like he was leaving a lot out of his performance, which he actually does get criticized a lot for, unjustifiably to me, but he was not very good in this movie. So, it's like a C minus. Like, it's a watchable movie. If I was watching it, or if someone in my house was watching it, I wouldn't hate watching it. As a Bruce Willis collector, I guess it's nice to have, and a Walter Hill fan, I guess, because Walter Hill's a good director, like I said. Doesn't get talked about enough. So, but however, let's get into this release. First thing you get is this artwork, which is okay. I don't love it. It looks fine, but this looks really cheap Photoshop with the gun. I don't really like that, but it's whatever. Get the back. I do actually will give Shout Factory credit on this part. Disc here looks nice. And then you get the artwork right here. I actually like that there's interior artwork. So, I don't think this movie had ever had a release before. This is a Warner Brothers movie. I honestly suspect if Shout Factory had not picked up the rights to this, Warner Brothers probably would have done a Warner Archive. In fact, they still might. So, and I would say if they do, don't bother with this release, because The thing is, usually what Shout Factory has over other studios is their special features. $30 release should have some special features. I expect the studios who are putting out a brand new movie to put it out for $30 and not have special features. That's kind of normal for them at this point, and honestly, at least you could argue that's a brand new movie. This is a movie from 1996 with zero special features for $30. And at least most of those studio titles, some of them won't come with slipcovers, but for the most part, most of them do, I would say. This has no slipcover. And has zero special features. And this is the thing I hate about Shout Factory. They're a boutique label, I get this. But they're upcharging you for their releases and giving you jack shit sometimes. Sometimes they're giving you the whole board. Like, they're like, here you go. Here's multiple cuts. Here's the 4K. Here's the Steelbook. Here's the tons and tons of special features. And then you get releases like this where it's jack shit. And it's the same price as a release that has tons of special features and a slipcover and a Steelbook or whatever. And so, don't buy this release. At all. Unless you see this for like $15 or less. Because that's what this is worth. If this had come out $20, even that would have been more acceptable. I would have been like, $20 is pushing it. Wait for a sale. But at least I could be like, well, on release day, $20 is about fair. $30 for this is fucking absurd for what you get here, which is jack shit. And it's not a horrible movie, but $30 for it. No. Just no. And I really don't want to say that. But that's just the truth here. I can't lie to you and tell you this is worth getting for that fucking price. Because it ain't.